Hello, it's Callie for Callie's Collectible Reviews, and for today on Predator Month, I am going to be taking a look at the Alien vs Predator Scar figure from Neca. They are well over 100 figures deep with their Predator line now. This one came out kind of in the midpoint, quite a long time after the Alien vs Predator film. Let's just say about that, the better. But the general consensus that I saw on places like Twitter when these figures were sort of announced and released and people got them in hand, they said it's very much a case of terrible movie, fantastic figures, and I am definitely in that camp of the movie wasn't the best. I mean, the fact that it was a 12A really hurt it, in my opinion, with it being a Predator film. And then they tried to up the ante in AvPR, and, well, I don't even like to talk about that film very much. But anyway, moving on, we're going to take a quick look at some of the accessories, because I have the three main brothers from the film itself, and I have the clan elder from the end of the film. They did release a lot of other Predators using this body mold, and a lot of the pieces from these Predators as like the Ancient Guardian and other variations. I didn't bother with those because they just weren't... They were 3 seconds of screen time, not enough to form a connection to the character for me. That's just my personal choice. But anyway, so we'll take a quick look at some of the accessories, what I can separate that are his. Basically, a lot of the AvP Predators come with hands like this, and all the hands between all the different AvP Predators that use this body mold, all of the hands for these guys are interchangeable amongst all of them. So if you buy ones that come with alternate hands, they will work in between others. So you can have two closed fists, two open hands, two holding hands, like gripping hands like this one is. I have another one here, because a lot of my Predators are displayed with either something in their hand, hence why he's holding a spear, or an open hand like they're grabbing something. So that's just my personal preference. So yeah, that's kind of the hands. He has some of his accessories dotted around on him. I will show them off in a moment. This one does not come with... Well, they did release later on down the line a masked version of this same character. I personally think that it looks better without the mask. All Predators to me look better without masks, because you get to see the intricate detail of everything. So, but the one thing that a lot of the AvP Predators did come with, and I've got so many of these I've lost count, they came with these little shurikens. There you go. Now right up close so you can see the detail there. And then a lot of them are exactly the same as this. They do have closed versions sort of clipped up on their belts. So that's a nice little inclusion that, you know, they've got multiples of these. That's a nice little thing that Neca do for you. So I think one of them did come with a collapsed spear, but I think one of them is currently holding one. So I will show that off when I get around to reviewing that figure. But that is pretty much it accessory-wise that I have loose. The rest of the accessories are on the figure himself, as you can see. The wrist blades, these right here, get that right in there, okay. These do actually just slide out of place. You just easily pop them out. They just slot into little slots in the wrist. And you can swap and change the wrist blades between the different Predators. I've got an AvP Predator called Celtic Predator, and he has the long blades that, you know, come down to the ground kind of level. And then there's Chopper, who has the very short blades, because he has underarm blades that come out even further. So it was like balance them out a little bit. As you can see, Scar comes with the spear that I have in his hand. And there you go. The backpack and shoulder cannon is an accessory. They just plug in, dead simple. He does have down on his thigh the ceremonial knife that he uses when when him and the human decide to team up, and he makes the alien head spear and shield. He uses this knife to cut the alien's head off. So that's a nice little touch. It can be held in the hand. I personally just leave it in the sheath on the side of the leg. That's just my personal choice. Anyway, on to the figure himself now. Where to begin? Neca threw in a lot of new articulation in these guys that they still use today, like the double jointed elbows, the double jointed knees, the swivel above the knee, the upper torso joint, which on this figure it really is kind of a redundant joint. It is there, but you don't really need it to be there, if that makes any sense. It's because the armor and everything around it just means it's a pointless joint. You know, and there's nothing worse than pointless joints. Ooh. Anyway, for the looks of the figure, we'll get right in close. Get his arm out of the way. Tuck that in so it doesn't get caught on anything. There we go. We have the wonderful, wonderful head sculpt. Absolutely amazing head sculpt, in my opinion. Try and get some lights on it. There we go. There we go. I mean, the detail alone that you get on these Neca Predators is absolutely insane. I mean, there's all the armor work. These are pretty much screen accurate, in my opinion. And I've not watched the film in a while. I might have to give it a rewatch, but I think everything is pretty much spot on. I mean, he's got his little collection of skulls around here. The wrist computer does open. That is a little feature that it does have. Get my ugly mush out of the way. There we go. But that does open up very nicely, as you can see. Right. We'll go over the articulation. We've had a look at the paint and the sculpt. It's all very standard stuff for what you'd expect from Neca, especially this day and age where you know, they've really upped their game. These figures now are, I'd have to say, I want to say about 7 or 8 years old. I got these for Christmas one year off of my, at the time, wife. And I love them. No, it wasn't Christmas, sorry, it was a birthday. Sorry, birthday one year. And I fell in love with the figures. I was like, you know, I wasn't overly keen on the film. But I mean, the figures, they are fantastic. He's even got, I've just noticed the scar molded into his forehead right there. Don't know how well that's going to pick up on camera, but it's right where my fingernail is. That's right there. Right where my fingernail ends, you'll see the scar. But yeah, articulation is a little bit limited due to armor and just the sheer bulk of this guy. I mean, he's hench. You can't say he's not. He is buff. But anyway, so on this, we'll do with this side because the spear gets in the way on this side. So you can go about that far forward before this shoulder pad. It is attached to the armor up here, but it does get in the way. You've got rotation there at the bicep. You've got double jointed elbows. You've got rotation above at the gauntlet line there. And you've also got ball jointed hands as well. It's the same, both sides. I will go on the side of caution on this side because the way the arm is sculpted, I don't know how well it's going to come off on camera. If I turn him round, you can see the way the arm is sculpted and the way the backpack attaches under here. If you try to keep this arm flat down and move it back, it's going to push that backpack off. So if you want to move this arm back, you have to kind of bring it out to the side and then back. Otherwise, you're going to send that backpack just flying off the figure. Okay, so just a little bit of caution there with that. Head is on a ball joint. Again, be careful of the backpack because these dreadlocks are very, very thick, and they do stick out quite far back from the head. So be very careful with the dreadlocks, and again, not knocking this off, because these are not on super stable. They just literally just clip in and hold. It's a friction joint more than anything else. It's not a proper click and plug connection. It's just slot in. So be careful. Yeah, but you can get a little bit of tilt. Rotation. Yeah, see that backpack is already unhooking itself. So I need to rearrange that. I am sorry. Give me a moment. Plug it in the bottom. And then there we go. But yeah, see, so the head is on a ball joint, no problem. Now, this upper torso joint, this is the one thing I really want to talk about, because it's the one thing that I feel is completely unnecessary and really does hinder the figure. But the idea is you're supposed to be able to rotate the upper torso, but this strip of armour along here, and the same on the back, as you can see, gets all bent out of shape when you do that. So it's not really very functional. I mean, you can get the tiniest little bit forward and the tiniest little bit back. Again, this is just due to the way the armour is. It doesn't really do much. It's kind of unnecessary. I get that Neca were trying to implement a new body type and test out some new articulation and all that kind of thing. But at the same time, I'd rather it not be there than it be there and be useless, if that makes any sense. You do have a ball joint and rotation at the waist, but again, because this armour on the front and back is attached to the belt, when you try to move the waist, it gets all knotted up. So you're not getting much from upper body, just due to the armour sculpt. That's the only issue I really have with this figure. The sculpt work, the paint work, the representation of the character, because he was my favourite character from the film. So, you know, just to have this representation of the character, it's just amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. Legs, we can go about there before the armour again starts getting in the way, so you get about that much. Back, even less. You've got double jointed knees, like so. This knee, if you bring it down a little bit, it does have a rotation above the knee, so you've got a bit more posability there. It's the same both sides. The feet are on ball joints, a little bit hindered by the armour, but look at those toe claw sculpts. Just how stunning is that? Oh, and out to the side before the armour gets in the way, you're looking stance about that wide. Not brilliant, but okay. So, yeah, that's the figure in a nutshell, really. Like I said, I do have the rest in the collection. I am going to review them in time. I'm not going to do them in order, because doing just 4 AvP characters, one after the other. Actually, no, sorry, 5, because I have a serpent head variant from the video game. It's a very nice one. I might do that one next, but it's just... I don't want to bog everything down with nothing but AvP figures. So I've got enough in my collection that I can swap in now and do a variation. But that's pretty much it for this review. Do I recommend you picking this one up? If you've seen the film and, like me, you liked the designs but hated the story, then yes, I can definitely say that these are worth tracking down and picking up on the secondary market. They did do a line of alien AvP figures, which is the Xenomorphs, obviously. I've got 2 of those. I've got the thermal vision one, which is a bright green, glow-in-the-darkish one. And then I've got just the standard, looks like it does in the film one. And it's a good figure, very, very well articulated. But the problem is, in certain stances, you can tell it's a guy in a suit. Because it was for the film. So, but, yeah. So all in all, that's been my review of the Neca AvP Scar character Scar figure from the AvP films. Yeah, I highly rate it. I'd say, given some of the articulation problems, I'd have to say 7 out of 10. Anyway, thank you very much. I've been Callie for Callie's Collectibles Reviews. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, all the good stuff that you do for me. And I'll see you in the next review. Bye.